My feet are super flat, and when I started running, I'd have to consistently take breaks because I'd get a lot of pain in the arches of my foot. A lot of shoes out there claim to be good for flat-footed runners, but it's taken a lot of trial and error to find a shoe that actually works for me. Hi, I'm Austin Reviews. This video isn't sponsored in any way, and I bought these shoes with my own money. I also love running. I ran over 1,700 miles last year, so I know how impactful a good pair of running shoes can be. And I hope that this video finds others with flat feet who also struggle to find good shoes to wear, because I know from experience that even after extensive research, it can be tough to find the right pair of shoes. In this video, I'll quickly share the ways that flat feet can impact running, and then the 2 pairs of shoes which have worked best for me over time. I'll have timestamps to each of these down below, so feel free to skip around if you'd like. Typically, when you have flat feet, you do something called overpronation. Essentially, you're rolling your foot as you run or walk. Everyone does this to some extent, and it's fine, but when you experience overpronation, it means that your foot is rolling excessively towards the inside with the toes curling towards the outside. The channel Practice Health has some great visuals for this, which you'll see on my screen here, and I also have their channel linked down below if you want to check them out. A good set of stability shoes can help with this since they typically have a wider and more stable base for your foot, and it helps your foot not roll from side to side as you run or walk. However, while stability shoes can help your running form, they aren't always comfortable for flat-footed runners, especially when they have too high of arch support. So when it comes to a running shoe for me, I'm looking for something with both a wide and relatively flat midsole. So that way it's not too high for my essentially non-existent arch, and also wide enough so that the inside middle part of my foot doesn't feel like it's falling off the side of the shoe. So let's get into the 2 pairs of shoes which have worked best for me. Starting off with my top road running shoe, this is the Altra Paradigm 7. They've come out with the Altra Paradigm 8s, but essentially they're just the same shoe. I just buy the 7 since last year's model is always going to be cheaper. But here's the trick with these shoes that makes them so great for flat-footed runners. Altra shoes are known for having a wider toe box, which is nice. But for flat feet, again, what you really need is a wider midsole, since flat feet need more space in this section of the shoe. The biggest superpower of this shoe is their wide sizing option, which is what I always go for. I don't need the larger toe box, but the wider midsole makes a huge difference for my feet. Additionally, I always size a half size up, so I wear a 10.5, but I wear an 11 wide in this shoe. Other shoe manufacturers also had wide sizings, but they aren't all created equal. And these are the first pair of daily running shoes which I've actually chosen to buy multiple sets of. You'll also notice that these shoes do have a fairly large sole, and that does help prevent that overpronation that I mentioned earlier, since it stabilizes your foot as you run. I've been able to put about 500 miles on these shoes each time before having to swap them out for a new pair. And as far as daily trainers go, these have been the best that I've found. I've purchased 4 pairs of this exact shoe, and that's probably the biggest testament to how good I think they really are. While I'm most commonly running on paved roads, I do a fair amount of trail running. And this is the Altra Lone Peak. I've never had a shoe feel so comfortable on my foot right out of box than this. Again, I went with the wide sizing to give myself the wider midsole, and the toe box does end up being especially spacious, which I don't love, but it's well worth the trade for that wider midsole. I ran a trail marathon in these a couple of months ago, and I didn't get any blisters thanks to the great space that this shoe gave me. If you do a lot of trail running, especially if that trail running includes a lot of elevation, and you haven't gotten yourself a pair of shoes designed for the sport, I'd highly recommend it. They've saved me from falling several times since I bought them, and that alone makes them a worthy investment in my eyes. They don't do anything magical, but what they do have is way better traction than road running shoes. And that alone saves me on the steep downhill terrain that I encounter a lot here in Utah. I do wish that I hadn't gone for such a light colorway since the dirt has miscolored these significantly, but it was also the color that was on sale when I purchased them, and I'm always looking to save a little money when it comes to running shoes because they can be so expensive. As a final note, I just want to mention that these shoes haven't fixed all the problems with my feet. I still get pain in my arch area at times, and good shoes are never going to be a cure-all in this area. But good shoes do still help, and I'm really glad that I finally found a couple of pairs of shoes that work well for me. I'll make sure to include links to both of these down in the description below, but make sure to do a little bit of your own research because I can't guarantee that the site that I'm going to link for these is going to have the cheapest price by the time that you're viewing this. Also, everyone's feet are a little bit different, so if you have a pair of shoes which have worked great for you, put them in the comments down below. That way others can check them out too. Thanks so much for watching this, my friends, and I'll see you all on the next one. Peace.